actually focusing on the formative years, which is like between 3 and 8 years, when parents are the main influencers and they are the ones who make decisions. The kids do not have a lot of important role to play. So that is how I
Yeah.
feel the stereotype. We're just dragging, we're just snatching from them things that they would be interested. There could be possibilities they might not be interested, but we should give them a chance to explore every kind of product, every play, every hardship, everything, both boys and girls. It's not that that women are only, girls are only for caring and boys do not cry. It's not that blue is only for boys and pink is only for girls. We need to remove all that to make individuals who are more sturdy, more confident enough to take up anything, any challenge that comes their way, not like hindered and fine tuned. So remove the fine tuning is what I would say.
Matter. Today basically marks one of our many sessions of Dialogues That Matter that we want to dedicate towards women who are doing great work in their own field, who are also making some kind of a change with the work that they're doing. Today we have with us Farah, who is part of the Butte group. And we have a really interesting conversation that lies ahead of us. Today's topic is She Too Can Build. She Too Can Build symbolizes that as girls, as young girls, we don't need to limit ourselves to the kitchen sets, to the stuffed toys, to Barbie dolls and things like that that we have gotten so accustomed to. Quickly, I'm going to take a few minutes to read a little bit about what Farah does and what she has achieved so that you guys have an insight, and then we'll move into the conversation that we have planned today. So Farah is the founder of the Butte Group and is an innovator and entrepreneur with 10 years experience in business leadership in the sector of wellness and retail. Farah is part of the 10,000 Women Entrepreneur Program by Goldman Sachs at IIM Bangalore. She curates toys and believes wooden building blocks are integral for children or a child's cognitive, emotional, and social development. She's part of something called the Project Toy, which is basically a project that talks about the evolution of toys, past, present, and future, and how that has uncovered the impression of toys and the way we interact with things as a society from a very young age. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Farah. Thank you so much for giving us your time and for letting us have this conversation. And congratulations for the work that you do.
Thanks, Ruti. Thank you, Dialogues. And I really want to thank you because dialogues that matter are really important in each of our lives. And there's a lot of dialogue happening, and it all matters. It totally matters.
Right,
So,
right.
thank you so much.
Absolutely, it's our privilege. And on that occasion, I'd like to wish everyone out there a very happy Women's Day in advance. More power to women out there. And on that note, I'd like to begin today's session. So Farah, why don't we start with the basic, right? So start with why and what made you pick the area of children's play as a domain that you like to work in?
Yeah, so it all started with the whole bug of being an entrepreneur. And at some point in your entrepreneurial journey, you realize purpose is also important. You need to know what you are doing. There are two things in entrepreneurship: one is creation of wealth, the other is creation of employment. But there is also something, what is the purpose behind all of this? And it was the purpose which was actually making me think again and again that what is it? Because basically, I am from retail background. I interact with, I've been in retail like for about 7 years, interacted with close to 50,000 customers. And then it made me realize, what am I doing? Just selling stuff, but where is the purpose? And again, it was the Goldman Sachs program that made me further think more in depth as to finding a purpose which actually has a business sense, but also has an impact in the society. And that is how I realized that just not selling toys, I'm not selling toys per se, I'm selling something else as well. I'm selling happiness, I'm selling cognition development, I'm selling wholesomeness and family time. And that actually made me realize everything can be accumulated in the whole aspect of toys, and children are my go to audience. And that is how I evolved, and that is where I am right now.
Right.
So
And
that's
that's a very
that's the journey.
interesting Right. I think that's a very interesting and vital point that you make, that when when you look at child's play, it's not just for the child's cognitive and developmental growth, but it's also about some family time and how you can judiciously use that time. Right. So I think that's a very valid point that you make. From there, I'd like to know, I mean, what has been some of your biggest learnings from your 10 years of experience, and how did that shape what you wanted to do?
Yeah, so I would say experience really matters. There is a difference between veterans versus newbies because the kind of experience one holds is it actually is a combination of learning, failure, success, and challenges, and how you overcome those challenges. So in my 10-year journey, what I realized is whatever you do, there's one thing which is important is grit. So your whole purpose has to be focused on your passion and perseverance. And now, since I work in the space of child development and family time and curating toys, I realize that it all adds a lot of value. So when I talk to you, I know what I'm talking has a lot of meaning. It is something which is important, and this is based on my learning. So a 10-year journey is just not a journey. It's a very difficult journey is what I say. That's how. And the learning which I have acquired is what I don't want to restrict just to myself, not to myself, but to everyone, and come up with toys and programs and events around shaping a happy childhood.
Right. So then, what led you to She Too Can Build, right? Because it's a very fundamental and basic concept that we fail to understand. And how did that shape itself into the form of a movement? Could you talk to us a little about that?
Yeah. So it was interacting with customers over a decade. And then I realized what kind of choices they make. So I interact from morning till evening, understanding what customer wants. Accordingly, the inventory gets refilled. And I realized the kind of choices they want very inherently. It's not something like these for girls, blues and pinks. And there are a lot of things which made me really realize that they just think the girls are fine tuned in a manner where they think this is what I need. That made
Yeah.
me actually understand there could be something else as well, which can promote playtime minus the stereotype. There's no stereotype, and it can help the girls to understand that there are choices which they can make beyond toys, which are very caring, which are very soft and very cuddly and pinkish. So this is how it actually made me realize why not go ahead. And moreover, like I said, that when you talk, I had mentors while I was continuing with the Golden Sack program, and in one of our conversations, we realized that what am I doing? Like it really triggered to me. In a store, a 3-year-old boy comes, and the parents are ready to buy guns. So I felt very guilty. Like in my store, I am selling something which is of no use, and that is
Yeah.
how in my mentoring sessions we came up with something which is called Troy wooden building blocks. Nothing, plain pieces of wood, nothing at all, very bland, no color, nothing, and most importantly, gender neutral. So that is how it evolved. And these building blocks resonate very well with Shitu. So again, during my event sessions, I realized girls were a little bit hesitant to construction play, and the boys were very eager. So I was like, why? Why is it that if you were attending events, mom would push the girls for very soft play zones, and the boys would be coming here. So those are the things which made me realize, and that resonated very closely to the whole concept of Shidu. I've got like-minded individuals. I'm happy to collaborate with dialogues and take it further, probably globally, for every girl to understand playtime can be about any screen time. So yeah, that's my take.
Right. So I think that then begs the question, right? So at such a young age, as young boys and girls, the idea of how gender stereotyping can take place is something that happens right under our noses, and something that we fail to acknowledge, right? So why is that something really important? And how else do we see these gender stereotypes taking form?
Yeah. So the whole thing, there's French essay called who says actually what are toys? They are nothing but a replica world. You have a bigger world around with. So when this gender stereotyping happens, they actually we are trying to minus the happiness from them. We are trying to fine tune both boys and girls. But right now, since we're talking about She Too Can Build, I would like to emphasize on girls, little girls. So we are trying to make them understand that anything which is not very rough and tough is what is your what fits well in your kitty. So this, what are we trying to do? We are trying to take away from them their fine nature. We are trying to fine tune, and it takes a very long time for an individual to understand. Okay, what my fine nature is, what I'm supposed to be, and who am I? Is and moreover, the Shitu movement is actually focusing on the formative years, which is like between 3 and 8 years, when parents are the main influencers and they are the ones who make decisions. The kids do not have a lot of important role to play. So that is how
Yeah.
I feel the stereotype. We're just dragging, we're just snatching from them things that they would be interested. There could be possibilities they might not be interested, but we should give them a chance to explore every kind of product, every play, every hardship, everything, both boys and girls. It's not that that women are only, girls are only for caring and boys do not cry. It's not that blue is only for boys and pink is only for girls. We need to remove all that to make individuals who are more sturdy, more confident enough to take up anything, any challenge that comes their way, not like hindered and fine tuned. So remove the fine tuning is what I would say.
Right. At this point, perhaps I'd like to ask and perhaps draw from your own experience. When you were growing up, what were the kind of toys you grew up with? Your peers, maybe your siblings. What were the kind of toys that were available for gender, and how do you see that changing with what you're doing with Troy and at your store, perhaps?
Absolutely. So when I grew up, honestly, I had dolls. I had kitchen sets. Every birthday there was a kitchen set which was gifted. There were dolls. There was some piano kind of pencil boxes. Anything which is rosy and cute. I don't realize if ever I was given something which falls into the segment of boy. It's a boy toy. Nothing at all. And likewise, my peers, they were like, no, if it's a gun set or anything which is cricket bat ball set was for boys, and then there were darts for boys. So this is something which I experienced. Same thing is what I'm experiencing right now. Not very intensely, but I'm talking about my experience right now, and this is what I figure out almost every day. Very subtly, people make these choices. We can't blame them, but it's just inherent. Sometimes I realized that the pink colors were they were just left behind. They were not sold. The blues were sold. So these are small things which actually prompted me to be very confident and take up like manufacturing gender neutral toys, or to talk more about she too can build. What my experience, but I don't want the same thing to go. I want girls to experience everything possible.
Right. In fact, when we brought up this interview and when we decided that the topic would be She Too Can Build, it kind of brought me back to thinking what were the kind of toys I grew up with, right? So, but naturally, yes, a lot of it was a lot of Barbie dolls. So I do remember I used to play a lot of with a lot of Hot Wheels. So I had a set of Hot Wheels, a bunch of cars, and the entire tracks and things like that. So perhaps there were some stereotypes, but there has always been that leeway where you can have that that space to give children to try out different kind of toys and different kind of games also when you play, right? So I think that's something that's really important. Uh, why not we kind of move a little ahead and talk a little about maybe talk about what are the other kind of gender stereotypes we find in children itself apart from play. Even perhaps when they have to pick their clothes, have to attend a particular function? What are the other kind of gender stereotypes that you think
There are
children?
so many, the list is endless. The girls have to look pretty. Boys do not cry. Why? It's a baby girl. I need a pink cradle. I need a blue dress. So all of this is there. It exists. We cannot deny it. But like I said, awareness is there. The sensitization part
Yeah.
has to be taken forward very seriously. As you said, I think you will be very lucky to toy around with Hot Wheels. But trust me, I've seen barely girls actually asking for Hot Wheels. I wouldn't say there aren't any, but very few.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things. Women, what do we do when we give them a kitchen set? What is it? So that is the whole concept revolves around Ross, who's a French essayist, who says we are just giving them a smaller version of what we like. If a mom likes or a dad feels that
Yeah.
kitchen set is something which actually is going to the feel good factor of caring behavior while a woman or a mom cooks. So that is what we are again passing on to the next generation.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah.
And there are lots, and it actually affects them because it might be boys will cry, it might be girls are not that caring. So these are
Yeah.
certain things that is there. It's there all out. It's absolutely. There are many examples of these.
Yeah. In fact, to think of it, when you think of this, the society or the less privileged, right? So when you perhaps donate your toys to them, they don't get a choice to pick, this is what I want, that's what I want. So they just get their hands on whatever they do and they just play. So that way they get a lot of gender neutral toys that they kind of get their hands on. So that makes
Actually, yes.
a lot of sense. Just a small insight. So what is your take on, of course, this is something that you are doing as a personal endeavor and something that you strongly believe in. Do you want to also talk a little bit about process of how perhaps you got integrated with the IBM program and the Goldman Sachs program that propelled your vision and to kind of give that a little more larger structure?
Absolutely. Like when as entrepreneurs, we are always focusing on balance sheet, mostly on the expense and asset and everything else. A larger picture, which personally I felt very motivated talking with mentors there, and they helped me think about something called a purpose. So there has to be a soul in a business, and that soul is what I integrated with the program. And I found my purpose of trying to make a small difference in each and every person I come across every day. So
Right.
finding a purpose and putting a soul, like, understanding what the market wants, what is missing, and how can I add value. So that's the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. Finding purpose, basically purpose.
Of course, and we can't be talking about gender neutral toys and on Women's Day without talking in this whole journey. What is your what would I say? What is your encounter been like with the way people deal with your endeavor as being a woman? I don't want to put that into a box, but have you faced any kind of discrimination? Have you faced, or has gender not been any factor when in your whole process? Or have you seen people who look down upon you or the endeavor that you're doing? Or have you also seen people who propelled you? What's your journey been like?
Yeah, so actually, if we are very clear in our head as to what we want, that vision. So I would say I would like to talk about vision, and
Right.
we are very clear about our vision, and I think nothing matters. So
Yeah.
vision mixed with grit to take up any challenge. I think that is a very power packed trait which women entrepreneurs should have. The rest
Right.
will all fall in place. It doesn't matter who thinks what. So now
Right.
when we are doing Shitu movement, Shitu can build. I've got so many fathers calling and saying that yes, we'd like to come in. So I think that's very encouraging. It's like an accelerator for me to even from just a thought to talking to you right now. So we've just
Yeah.
progressed. So this the vision is progressed.
Absolutely. And just to add on and perhaps ask a little more, so of course, from your end, you've put out the awareness and put it in people's heads that you need to be a little more gender neutral, right? What's the response been like? Like you just pointed out that, you find a lot of fathers calling in to say that, I'd like to know a little more about this. Are people generally accepting towards gender neutral toys or play when you talk about it, or are they a little apprehensive in the very beginning?
No, the thing is that I'm very clear with the point that we are looking at formative years, which is between 3 and 8. Now, when we
Right.
talk about 3 and 8 years of age, we know the child has barely any decision making capacity. It is
Right.
parents who decide. So, when we talk about Shitu can build to that age group, the parents are more than willing to participate, and they
Right.
resonate with the thought, and that takes it forward. Because once we look at the older age group, they understand they have their own likes and dislikes defined. So, we don't play a role there.
Absolutely.
We just want to do it
Absolutely.
in the critical years when the brain is still developing, the synapses are there, they understand, and parents are the best teachers. So they know absolutely where this whole that this is a jigsaw puzzle, and how do they want, I mean, how they want to fit, or yeah, fit each piece by piece. So they understand that very well.
Right. And of course, it's not just about the parents, right? It's also about the caregivers, the educators, the
Yeah.
teachers, and the whole array of people who come into play when you in a child's development or growth, right? So, what is your piece of advice that you'd like to give to the educators, caregivers, and things, people like that?
Yeah, so I think parents play a critical role. Of course, the society per se is important, but as they say that, parents are the first teachers. So if things are very clear in a parent's head or caregiver, so I think that is where the journey evolves. So that is
Yeah.
what the child will learn. That is what he or she will discuss with his teacher. And then that is how the teacher will mold, because the school has been formulating some philosophy. And that's how the
Right.
journey, that's the trajectory. But it all begins right within the four walls of mom, dad, grandmom. So the family is the base. Those
Right.
cultures, values, so everything starts from there.
Right. Absolutely. Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop in the comments. We'd be happy to answer them because we really want to hear your thoughts on this. Um, uh, would you be open towards gender neutral play and gender neutral toys, or should I say toys, the toy wooden blocks? And what is your thoughts on this? And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them. Farah, I'd like to also bring to your attention and ask, of course, what you're doing, like I started to say, it's a personal endeavor and, of course, one that is a need of the hour. What do you think or feel about, say, a government aligning with this, or the society and the bigger powers that kind of need to propel this? Because it's just individuals who cannot bring about change, right? So what is your take on that? Or are there any such provisions that are available at the moment?
Yes, so I would be very happy to share this information. Honorable Prime Minister Modi has made it possible. There are a lot of campaigns, a lot of investment going in, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. This is one aspect, just focusing on girl child.
Right,
But if you look at the bigger picture, there is a lot of things happening in the industry of toy per se. So this
right,
Atmanirbhar, vocal for local. So all of these things are making visionaries like me to take things much forward, and there is an ecosystem being created. So there is article 31 of the UN which talks about breaking gender barrier, sensitizing, holistic development. So all of these add to what one individual is doing, but at a meta level government is equally involved and coming up with a lot of things which is more of a gender barrier, gender breaking kind of a thing. Anganwadis are being prompted to make inclusion happen, whether it is a play or study. So I think the government is doing it well, and that should motivate each of us to do our bit. And what I am doing right now is
absolutely.
just my bit.
Right, absolutely. I think that's really encouraging as well, right? When you see all kinds of forces that propel the same movement that you are kind of aligned with. So that's super encouraging. I also like to bring attention to our viewers and those who are watching that we have an event curated along the same lines Shitu can build this weekend. Farah, would you like to talk to us a little about that and perhaps invite people for the same?
Absolutely, I'd love to have. So actually, we are doing a 90-minute play date at Dialogues JP Nagar. Dialogues was kind enough to actually take care of all the SOPs. You don't have to worry about the COVID norms. All the SOPs are being followed. The place is beautiful. Everything's well organized. It's a 90-minute play date. Mom, dad, caregiver, children, girls basically. Boys are also invited. But because we are saying she too can build, so boys are also invited as such. You can get your brother, sibling, anybody. And the whole event again is about playtime with gender neutral toys. Gender neutral. We have toy blocks, we have construction, we have leading architects from Bangalore who would be leading the session talking about it. We have playpreneurs. We've got Ms. Preeti Vikram who's going to take the lead and talk about again how play therapy helps in cognitive development and holistic child development. So it's a family affair and just 90 minutes. All we need is 90 minutes of your time. That's it. So I'm most invited.
Absolutely. I think, guys, you heard her. So, you know where to drop in for the event. If you have any questions, you can personally come and ask those questions to the team, and I'm sure they'd be happy to answer. We'll put the event description. Otherwise, you can check it out on Facebook or as you are on Dialogue Space or on Instagram or our website, and you'll find details to the event. And we'd love to host you and see you on the event day. I'm just going to wait quickly and check if we have any questions. In the meanwhile, I'm going to continue chatting with Farah. I believe Farah is all right. Wait for Farah's connectivity to come back. Yeah, Farah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I think in between you got stuck. Okay, all right. So moving ahead, because this is our Women's Day special, and you know our topic is around She Too Can Build. Why don't you share a couple of stories when a bunch of girls have perhaps played with these gender neutral toys, and any kind of feedback or stories that you have kind of received when these kids have played with the toys?
Yeah, of course. I think the same, the interest, the inclination is same. We cannot define that, boys would enjoy it more or enjoy it less. It's equal thrill of, constructing a tower and knocking it down, constructing highways and getting your imagination into reality. So everything is there. It's almost same. And I would say girls enjoy equally. It's just parents and caregivers who need to think about making choices while they purchase toys and think more on gender neutral playtime, remove the stereotypes. So it's all same. The excitement still remains the same.
Absolutely. I'm also curious to find out what are the other toys that you have in mind? Any particular projects that are in line for Buke Group or for the toy building work that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, the mentor, with the help of mentor, what we are trying to come up with series of blocks. So there could be blocks which help in mathematics. There could be blocks which are open-ended. So more on gender neutral. Again, just plain simple pieces of wood. So it's just your imagination how you can shape it, either to learn things or while you play, you have memories which will be etched forever. Because learning happens. Learning is natural, and we believe while you play also you can learn. So we have a lot of,
Right.
we'd like to empower women entrepreneurs more with a lot of block programs, block meets where they can conduct events and create an ecosystem where everybody is a stakeholder. I mean, just not me. So it's like a lot of women entrepreneurs who need some kind of push to start off with. We love to help them in every capacity possible.
Absolutely. I think that sounds really delightful. We don't have any questions at the moment. I'm assuming everybody just all the information you've given, or they're just going to perhaps personally meet the team and ask the questions on Sunday. Since this interview is a Women's Day special, I cannot conversation by asking you perhaps who are some of the women that you look up to, and who are some of the people that you would like to, give a shout out to and show your support to, because I think it's really important that women support women. So any ventures, any individuals, any women that you'd like to give a shout out to and what they do, we'd love to know that as well.
Absolutely, the list is endless, and I would first of all would like to thank my mom because a mother is the best teacher who knows us in and out. But apart from that, I believe there are a lot of clusters of women help groups that are working very quietly, very silently. We don't know them. There are a lot of NGOs that are supporting. I think each of them are doing a fab job. There are a lot of WhatsApp groups that help women connect. So I think each of them in their own capacity are doing a wonderful job of connecting the dots. So it's just not one. There are plenty of them. My special thanks would be to all the self-help groups who do things so selflessly for so many women out there. So I think this
Right.
International Women's Day, they really, I mean, we really have to thank each of them.
Right. I think I second that, and more power to such women. As we steer towards the end of this conversation, could you tell us how do we get in touch with you in case any of us have queries, questions, or just perhaps if we want to volunteer or anything like that?
Absolutely. So you can just log into troyworld.in. That is one way of getting in touch. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, and my login ID, everything. Social media handle is also available. So I think Troy would be the easiest way to connect. It's my passion right now. We
Sure,
all out
sounds
there.
great. Yeah, I think we will definitely tag you and put up all the socials when this video does go out.
Absolutely.
And as we reach the fag end of this conversation, do you have any closing thoughts, Farah? Anything that you'd like to add apart from what we've spoken today?
Yeah, I would like to say that, the whole concept of for women is important. Whether it's at home or it's outside, whether business venture is just a small part of our life. We spend a lot of time at home. So I think each of those people matter. It's not that, if your business partner is a woman, you will be very cordial and very nice. It all begins at home also. We'll have to have the same mental compatibility and all of those things, because if we are mentally very clear about vision, about our thoughts, then I think we can move mountains, we can do anything. Woman for women starts at home. So it could be,
Absolutely.
your mother-in-law, sister-in-law. So it all starts from there, to accept people how they are. And this Women's Day, I think this is the best message anybody can think of. Support, just not your business partner, but support the
Right.
mother-in-law, who's
Absolutely.
there, sister-in-law, your anybody, niece, anyone out there, your mom, anybody. I think that's where the journey begins from.
Right. I think here to that. And as last but definitely least, last year has been a really tumultuous year. It's been a difficult year for a lot of us. What's the one thing that the last year taught you, or what's the one thing you're grateful for from last year to leave on a more optimistic note?
Absolutely, absolutely. Keep going on. Just keep moving, keep moving. Because we cannot just bask in the previous glory that, okay, once I have achieved something. It's an everyday process. Every day reinvent yourself. I think even Mr. Sachin Tendulkar has to perform in every single match to be the hero and
Right.
probably be called God of cricket. So that's what I really feel that way. We cannot just say, okay, I'm done. No. And I think COVID has taught each of us that, it helped us to understand where we are, what's our potential. And I think each of us have immense potential, and we just need to unblock that potential. And then success is all ours.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it couldn't have been said more simply and justly that, just keep going. And with that, I'd like to end today's session. And once again, wishing everybody a really happy International Women's Day. Like Farah said, it's about supporting each other, men supporting women supporting women, just humans supporting humans at the end of the day. And with that note, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Do check out the event. We have a lot more sessions coming up this month where we talk to some really talented and beautiful women about their ventures and what they do. So do tune in and check out this space for more. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you once again, Sara, for your time, and
Thank you.
we wish you more
Thank you
success.
so much. Thank you. Yes, and I
Thank
think
you.
Dialogues Matter is a very good initiative. I mean, it really, I mean, people are going to speak their heart out, and that's what matters.
Thank you
Love
so
the
much. And
initiative.
And I think it brings us great joy to talk to people like you. So thank you for indulging in
Likewise,
conversation.
likewise. Absolutely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a great evening, weekend. Bye.
Bye.